Hi, everyone. Welcome to our Ask Me Anything session with Mihai Grigorescu of Inspire Testing. This AMA is going to be 4 fast questions with answers from Mihai. And we're going to start off straight away. Mihai, it's wonderful to have you here with us. Thanks for joining us. And your very first question is, what does the future of testing look like, particularly now in the new normal? What should we be, what's changed and what should we be on the lookout for?
All right. Well, first of all, Suzanne, thank you for having me here. And for everybody else watching at home, thank you for watching this clip. I would like to take the time and respond to your question by referring to 3 different points. So point number 1, what we have seen in terms of service delivery models in the current testing market, I would say we have experienced more growth and more positive changes in this space, even with the increased rate of working from home and with remote virtual teams that work in geographically distributed environments, and despite not having the testers and the testing staff go to clients' offices in person. So the staff augmentation, the development of cost-effective testing centers of competence or testing centers of excellence continue to remain on a positive growth trend. And we've even seen a surge in outsourcing testing services. So that's point number 1. Point number 2, in terms of testing scope, it mostly has remained the same, if not even more so, has grown, especially in the mobile testing space. And we have the same traditional testing platforms that we go for. We have our B2B or B2C e-commerce systems. We have our mobile apps. We have our cloud native solutions, adoptions and migrations. We have, of course, your typical traditional large technology platforms such as Oracle, SAP, Salesforce, Workday, Pega, etc. Even more recently, blockchain. So I would say that the testing scope has largely remained the same and even more so increased a bit. And as a third point on this question is what to look out for. So we have seen that the most important thing to look out for nowadays predominantly is AI. So that is testing with AI, testing for AI. And now more so with the adoption of quantum technology and the developments that we have seen in that space with the computing capabilities being made available as a service, that really is a game changer for us, especially in the AI space. So those are the main 3 things I would say have changed or we have to be on the lookout for.
Great, thanks for that, Mihai. And just following on from that question, bringing it back to your own company, how would you say that this new way of working has affected your company? And if you could share maybe some of your observations with us.
So thank you, Suzanne. That is a great question. So just like the rest of the companies affected, we at Inspire Testing have had our own fair shares of setbacks. But we have learned how to convert those into a learning curve and to actually take steps into providing our workforce with the support they require to provide their continued testing services. So what we've seen so far in terms of what has affected us was obviously by working from home more, we've seen an increase in the use of collaboration tools and remote teamwork. We've also found out how important it is to use combinations of working shirts and shorts working from home in front of a camera. We've also taken the most important step of all, especially in the pandemic, was the no questions asked leave policy. So if you need to get off from work to take care of your family or to take care of your health, no questions asked, take the leave and go and sort that out. By looking at protecting our staff, we've also looked at raising the number of permanent placements, both for our clients as well as internally for Inspire Testing. So we are trying to look out for our greatest assets, which are the people. And then fourthly, I would say emphasizing on cross-skilling. So getting people from where they were and becoming multi-talented, T-shaped SMEs has been the cornerstone of our transformation. We are looking at having automation and DevOps engineers. We're looking at having more SDETs, software development engineers and engineers in test, prepared and upskilled. So we're looking at a multitude of mixes and matches between the previous traditional roles. Now, with regards to the testing engagement and organization models, as I said before, we have seen more outsourcing in the market, especially after this whole pandemic year. And we've seen also an increase in our output-based engagement models, also seeing an increase in end-to-end testing as a service type of solutioning. So that's in a nutshell how our company has affected. Of course, we will address this question in more detail during our presentation in September, but that's in a nutshell where we are today.
Thanks, Mihai. And bringing that to question 3, from a technology perspective, what would you say is the best breed of tool out there?
Okay, so Suzanne, I would say PowerPoint, but leaving the jokes aside, I believe on the commercial tool side, even pre-pandemic and pre-2020, there was a very diverse technology ecosystem already in place. So we have seen, even with the events of the last 2 years, we have seen most interesting developments in this space. So this ecosystem has continued to evolve, and we have seen a lot of positive moves as well, such as the emergence of new technologies and new vendors coming out of it, acquisitions. We have seen also the existing vendors diversifying quite greatly their existing portfolios. Then we have seen also a lot of investments, especially from VCs, and a lot of other companies have gone to IPO. So the commercial space has grown quite a lot in the last couple of years. From an open source perspective, we have seen a lot of adoption in that space of more open source technologies, especially with the advent of DevOps and with the technology skills being much more in demand. So in fact, for that purpose, our firm has developed our own proprietary open source automation framework, which is based on Selenium, called Roman, that we use primarily for all of our clients that require open source technologies, and it relies heavily on object modeling and reusability. So we are moving along with the trends that we've seen in the market. So therefore, in short, to answer the perennial question of what is the best breed, what is the best testing tool out there, there isn't one. That is the answer. There is no best testing tool per se, but rather the best fitting tool for the client's context. And on that note, we have heard in the testing communities, whether it was a Tech Beacon report or some of the large SIs commenting in different forums, in that tight community, we have heard statements such as the open source technologies and the AI scriptless and codeless automation tools were eventually going to replace the commercial tools in the market, but also dramatically reduce and eliminate completely the need for manual testers. So that's not quite true. In our extensive experience on the matter and having to work so closely with our clients on the ground, combined with the general market trends, we think that those statements are not so accurate. They're quite the opposite, actually. And so we believe that rather than using this old stereotype, resolute formula of white versus black, that actually is more sensational clickbait type of statement, we actually look at it from a different angle, and we look at this topic from a hybrid shade of gray point of view, which is you have to use a combination of both commercial off-the-shelf as well as open source tools in order to make sure that you have the right tools for the right matter, and you get both the value and the output that you need from the beginning, and that will leave you with the best breed of tools, not anything else, not anything less than that. Hope that answers the question, Suzanne.
Yes, that definitely does. Thank you so much, Mihai. And to our last and final question, question 4, how is Inspire testing different from other testing pure play organizations?
Well, Suzanne, there's a lot of software testing vendors out there. There's a lot of reliable testing practices and capabilities within the traditional SIs in the market. But we feel that Inspire Testing is uniquely positioned as a testing pure play, especially in this QA business vertical, because while we provide the staple services with manual testing, automation testing, performance testing, and education and upskilling, we also support our clients with strategic test management activities. And those are consultative type of activities. And we engage with our clients for either transformations from regular project augmentations to testing centers of competence or excellence, to multinational shared testing services centers, to helping our clients focus on testing maturity improvements. And for that purpose, we will actually work with our partners and we provide test maturity assessments, both formal and informal, so TMMI. We also work with value stream management. We also work with aligning business strategies and with the quality assurance practices and so on and so forth. And that in itself just paints the picture on Inspire Testing. However, Inspire Testing forms part of a larger group of technologies under one umbrella, which is called the Dynamic Group Holdings. And within that group, we can provide various technology services to our clients, from software engineering and agile services with the DVT, Dynamic Visual Technologies, to data analytics and machine learning services with Dot Motors, Salesforce solutions with Cloudsmith, legal enterprise business management solutions with ML Consulting. And we also have a bunch of other sister companies that include specific niche plays in the market, such as DigiRail, Upper Sigma, Sigma Events, 6UP, Dynamic Talent, and Dynamic DNA. You can obviously see all of those wonderful companies under our website. So literally, we are better because we have a bit of everything verticalized for our clients. And with that being said, and for everyone watching, thank you for taking the time. And we certainly hope that these answers have satisfied your curiosity. And we look very forward to seeing you all at our session at Eurostar in September. Thank you, Suzanne.
Thanks, Mihai. That was wonderful to have you with us. That's Mihai Grigorescu from Inspire Testing. And we will be sharing Mihai's email if you want to get in touch with him. He's happy to answer any further questions that you might have. In the meantime, as Mihai said himself, if you'd like to hear more from him, he will be speaking at Eurostar from the 28th to the 30th of September this year. So moved from November to September. And we'd be delighted to welcome you. And Mihai will be speaking there. So do join us for his session. And once again, thank you everyone for joining us. Have a great day. Take care.